Maurice Jones-Drew. It's Week 9 coming off the bye. The New Orleans Saints are in town, and it's our Salute to Service Week at SoFi. So to all of you who have served, our gratitude, our thanks indeed. We do salute you. Well, the Rams are coming off their bye. They're at 5-2. I don't know about their destiny, but they're in control of their destination. They've yet to beat an NFC team, however, and that's their opportunity today after starting the year with 5 wins against the AFC. How does 5-2 this year compare to the last couple, gentlemen?
Feels better, doesn't it? 5-2 feels pretty good, right?
It feels great.
This is how you get off to a good start. Really, it does make me a little bit nervous because you know at 1-3 or when they started slowly last year and the year before, you knew that they were going to finish like or close like gangbusters. I do worry about this. I do worry about overlooking the Saints. I do worry about people patting you on the back. But that's just how I am right here. But I think you said the operative word. This is an NFC opponent. This is a big chip to get. It's not about who you play. It's how you play. So we're still looking for them to improve upon what they did in London, play their best football game. If they do, it doesn't matter who's in front of you.
You know, I woke up this morning and it wasn't sunny out. And that was more than enough to get me fired up for this type of game. Right? This is an opportunity to play in the NFL and to put more good tape out there. I think the Rams, when you watch the league in totality, they're playing some of the best football. Right? And it's consistent, clean play. Not many mistakes. They're executing their game plan. They're doing the things that great teams do at this time of the year. But now it's November. You talked about it. That means we got to turn it up just a little bit, right? And we got to get back to that type of ball where we're scheming guys open, we're getting healthy, and we're making plays. And then this other thing I'll say this, and I know we're going to touch it, but why not use this game as an opportunity to work on our field goals?
Okay.
Right? I don't want to work on it next week. Let's work on it this week so that we're prepared for next week. Maybe that's something that we can do today as a way to get better.
All right, you want to talk about kicking? I want to talk about quarterback play. The Rams are coming off their most complete performance. They checked a lot of boxes in that one. Clean in the red zone. Devontae connecting with Matthew Stafford, who's put together an MVP pace so far. What do you make of the way this 37-year-old is slinging it?
You know, I just talked to him about 15 minutes ago, and I said, I think if you count Georgia and his starts in the NFL, it's like 273 starts. So I'm like, what can a defense throw at you that you haven't seen yet? And he goes, I don't think anything, but I'm sure they'll come up with something.
Yeah.
So that's where the no-look stuff comes in, when you start playing the game outside of the game. So to me, that's been the secret. That's why you're 5-2. You've got one of the best quarterbacks in the league who's playing at a high level. So they're protecting him. You're doing a great job. You're spreading the ball around, and he is, just like you said, taking it up a notch. So to me, that's the reason why you're at 5-2.
Yeah, I would say this. Going into the offseason, we knew that the Rams had talent, and they were ready to kind of be the team. And it was going to be all about the right arm of Matthew Stafford. But you said something that's better than anything. Experience is the number one teacher. When you have gotten hit in the back of the head because you missed a read or this blitz and you learn from that, you're not going to get that now. And I think that's what Matthew Stafford handled at Georgia. He handled that in Detroit, and he handled it early here with the Los Angeles Rams. And then as he's gotten better, you're starting to see the offensive line step up, or not necessarily step up, but set a pocket where he can step up. He's taken off and ran when he could, right? He's done something that we haven't seen. And so to me, he's playing at a high level because he's seen a lot and he's confident in what they're doing.
You know, last time out in London, it was no Puka, no problem. Devontae Adams dominating with 3 touchdown receptions. What does it look like now that you put the league's best receiver, most prolific receiver, back in the mix?
Yeah, it looks like what it did early in the year. I don't think we're going to see much 13 today.
Really?
I'm just going to be honest. Can I be honest with you? I don't think 13 will be one of those ones we'll see today. I think Sean, just being around Sean, talking to him all the time like we do, if you can't stop it, why should I? Right? And so Devontae and Puka have been awesome. I think you may see some 12 with Tutu Atwell being out, but I don't see much 13 coming out today.
3 tight ends mean you got to take one of those 2 off, right? The math doesn't add up.
The math ain't mathing, JB.
What about the desire to get Kyron going? And maybe to flex your running game a little bit as you get into the month of November.
How do I say this? Because we all love Kyron, right?
Yeah.
It's not incumbent upon Sean McVay or anybody on the coaching staff to get him going. It's up to Kyron to get Kyron going. He's going to have opportunities. I think this offensive line has played well, run and pass. They're going to give him some opportunities. It's what you do with those opportunities that count. So it's not Sean McVay or Matthew Stafford or anybody getting him going. It's what Kyron does when he gets his opportunities. And there are guys that can also carry the load too. So you know how it is when you've got a guy behind you.
I agree. I think, but I will say this. The more they convert on third down, the more opportunities he gets to carry the football. And I also believe this as well. with the way the passing game's going right now, you want to talk about opportunities. You're going to see a lot of too high safety looks where you're going to be able to have some favorable run boxes, and you'll be able to run into those. And I think that's when he has to be at his best. But let's also remember this. Kyren runs well in the month of November. He runs well in the month of December because guess what? You defensive linemen don't want to tackle as much anymore.
Stop that.
You linebackers don't want to – the defensive side doesn't want to be as chippy as they used to. You've worn them down a little bit. I expect Kyren to have a big next 2 months.
I'll just add, Blake Corum's been knocking on that door, too. He's not been able to stay on the field consistently enough to chip into some of that distribution, but maybe this is his moment where some of that juice comes to fruition.
Stop knocking and kick the door open. It's there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's flip to defense. The Rams have held 7 of their last 13 foes dating back to last season to 9 points or fewer. We're not going to mention who coordinates that defense. Never met him, never heard of him, don't want anyone hiring him. But whoever's orchestrating it must be pretty good.
I'm going to give Chris Shula all the credit in the world
don't do
because
it.
he's been great. But you have to say the depth on this football team, especially on the defensive side, is unbelievable. Those 2 edge rushers, Byron Young and Jared Verse, have stepped it up a notch. Josiah Stewart has come off the bench and has played well. But interior, when you think about Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, Poona Ford,
right,
and the combinations you can roll through there, Davis is coming in as well, stacking it up, all playing the same game plan. We're going to force you to throw the football by stopping the run. That's got to be job number 1 today. Force this game onto the shoulders of a quarterback who hasn't been here,
right,
and then get after him. So as long as it's loud in here, as long as the offense does what they're supposed to do, I believe this defense will get after the Saints offense today.
I will say this, too. This may be the first time in 5 years we've had the same OC and DC, right? And that you see that jump because it's the same voice, the same message week in and week out. And so you're going to see that team get better defensively, and that's what I love about it. So many times the Rams, we overlook the loss of a head coach who takes assistants, who takes this and takes that, and then Sean and his staff, they have to reinvent the wheel or figure out to go. Well, this is the first time in a long time they've had the same OC and DC. So you expect that cohesiveness of the defense. Guys know what they're doing. They're playing so much better than they did last year, and they're playing at a high level. They've added some really good pieces, but it's the core guys that have been there hearing the same message.
Let's talk corner for a second. There's a lot of dynamics at play right now. Akella Witherspoon's still at least a month away probably from returning. D. Will won't play today. Came off of that win in London, a little banged up. They trade for Roger McCreary, a high-end second-round talent from Tennessee. Now, with the trade deadline just a couple of days away, maybe that wasn't the splash move that people were expecting from the Rams at corner, but it's another option they can deploy.
Yeah, listen, JB, I text you. I'll tell our personal business. When I saw this, I was like, I thought we were going for a splash corner. And you calmed me down. You said maybe this is about the future. Maybe we don't want to send a first-rounder somewhere to get a guy back. And so I think Rams are going to continue to put bodies at this position to see who can fit, right? When everyone gets back healthy, you're going to have a plethora of corners who can go out there and cover and give guys breaks and be able to come into a dime package if you want to, with guys that have played a lot of valuable reps and snaps. So to me, I'm excited to see how McCreary plays today. Where does he play today? And I know for a fact that they're not going to get Captain Q out of there, that slot spot, because he's playing the best football. So you're going to have to learn to play outside and see if you can continue to do that.
You've heard me recite the D lineman's prayer, right?
No.
Lord, just give me one more step.
Oh, that's it?
I think that's what he represents. Sometimes you don't need to make a splash. Sometimes you just need to be credible and not make mistakes to get him to hold the football, because you're getting heat on the guy.
Yes.
If you can get a lockdown corner, love it. But if you can have a guy that's in the right spot to make that quarterback think twice, he's going to get hit and get hit hard.
Byron Young hasn't even needed that extra step. Can he make it 10 games in a row today, DeMarco?
I think he can. It's so funny. We talk a lot about Jared Verse, and we forget talking about him. I think he is the more polished pass rusher.
Yeah, he's been here longer.
We talked about Jared Verse and that motor. He already caught up to Byron in his rookie year. Byron has taken it up a notch. He can win versus anybody and anywhere versus any blocking scheme. That's how you know a guy has really turned it on. And guys are feeding off his pressure.
You know, you talked about Blake Corum pushing Kyren. Well, guess what Jared Verse is doing to Byron Young?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you don't have the rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year on the other side of you. You're like, hey, listen, I need some of that light over here too. Let me shine a little bit as he's making plays as well.
All right, let's touch on the Saints. They've only got one win. They're going to go to a first-time starter here today, although he's older than the last quarterback the Rams played. So he's seasoned, but not in this league. Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, this is what I'll tell you. When you watch their tape offensively, they and I don't even want to put it out in the universe, they do not try to get 41 the football. They don't try to get Alvin Kamara the football. They're throwing little short hitches here or there to Olave, or they'll take shots off a play-action pass to Rashid. It's going to be interesting to see how they game plan for this guy, though, because, again, he can struggle, and he gets the ball out quick, but he'll throw it to you.
Oh, yeah. The game plan for a new guy is always this: run the football, play defense. So I would expect a lot of Olave, short passes, get the ball out fast. Let's see if the Rams corners want to tackle. And then I'm not buying it. I think Kamara is going to be a big part of their game plan today.
Screen game?
Screen game.
I mean,
how do you beat a defense that gets up the field? Screen, draw, a lot of misdirection. That's what Kamara does best, so expect him coming out of the backfield a lot.
And look, even though the Saints have been kind of a turnover machine, the defense has hung tough. You look at what they did against Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay last week, respectable effort on that side of the ball.
Demario Davis is one of the best in the business.
Yeah.
Anybody? I like Werner. I like the other guy. I like their defensive line. I said this before. It skews your numbers when you're playing with or trying to defend a quarterback that keeps turning it over. It's constantly bad field position. But if you can get them to start from the 35, this is a get-out type defense. So this will be a snootful for the Rams offense.
No, this is going to be work for the Rams offense. I think a lot of times when you talk about, it's a rookie quarterback, yeah, that's the defensive side. They're going to have a fun time. The Rams, on the other side, you talked about it, JB, they manhandled the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were getting after Baker Mayfield. I think he threw for 100 yards, no touchdowns. Like, it was a rough day for them. Had a goal line stand as well. So if you're the Rams, you're going to, one, it's a double agent on their side in Brandon Staley. But then also, this is going to be work for your offensive line because this defensive line can get pressure, and they can rush 5, they can rush 4, they can rush 3.
I saw Cam Jordan during warm-ups.
He's still here?
He's still here.
My goodness, how long?
He won't go anywhere.
I did not know he ran the quarter in high school.
Yeah.
At 255 pounds. That's ridiculous. Look, respect him like you respect Alvin Kamara. Expect the best out of him because the minute you disrespect him, that's when he kills you.
Look, Aller Jackson's had a great season at left tackle. The Rams going back to Rob Havenstein at right tackle today. Definitely something to watch. In our keys to the game, here's what I thought we could do because you already brought it up. Can you get Cardi some confidence coming off the bye? You want every drive to end in a kick, right? So let's juxtapose that with the red zone improvement for this offense and talk about those two dynamics. Finishing drives while also building some confidence in Cardi in your kicking game.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be that type of deal where it's like, hey, we get in the red zone, let's score touchdowns. If we do stall, I'm going to put you out there because, again, we have a rookie quarterback on the other side. I want to see you make a 45-yarder, put you out there for a 48, 50-yarder, and see how that's going. I also believe this, too, JB. You said it best. Changing it from that knuckleball on the kickoff to just kicking, regular kicks, is going to help that leg swing and keep that confidence high.
Yeah, Cardi was perfect on his extra points, but it's been a few weeks, including the bye, since he's made a field goal, and even that last one in Baltimore did not inspire a lot of confidence. What about pressuring the quarterback, DeMarco? You said it earlier this week. You want Braden Fisk not just to stay hungry, to stay starving.
Absolutely.
You don't want him to get his first sack today?
I don't want him to get a sack. I want like 13 pressures. I do. I want 13
Selfish.
pressures.
You're
Absolutely.
selfish.
No. Because if he's wrecking shop, guess what's happening? The quarterback's moved off his spot. You've got another bunch of hunters, another bunch of vultures out there to bring him down, as long as he's creating havoc up the middle. Of course I want him to get a sack, but I want him to play exactly like he played in Jacksonville. I think pressure is going to be key. But number one, you've got to take away that running game for the Saints. Can't be an issue. You can do that by points. You can do that by stopping the run physically. Either way, force this onto the quarterback's shoulders, and then let the fireworks begin.
Let's get to our real deal matchup of the game, delivered by Little Ceasars, the official pizza of the LA Rams, where we focus on the matchups that'll matter most. Coin toss, who wins it? Take it away.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a fun one. This is going to be fun. I'm going to go with Brandon Staley.
Oh, you took mine.
Did I really?
Oh,
okay.
Go for it.
Versus Matthew Stafford in the red zone.
I love it.
In the red zone.
Oh,
He's going to have a plan. Matthew Stafford's going to have a plan. High-level chess in the red zone between those two.
I mean, it's so fascinating because you put the fade on display. You know that you got Devontae dialed in now. You bring Puka back. Maybe this is just a day to run it.
Yeah.
Just score some weight room touchdowns. Punch it in.
Yeah, whose weight room is bigger? You know, I agree with you, and that's where I was going to go with. Sean McVay versus Demario Davis. Because we already had words before.
Oh, you're
And
talking about joint practices
forget.
this summer.
Yeah, people don't forget.
Oh, yeah.
And so what does Sean McVay do best? He gets those eye violations by linebackers. Are you going to be on your stuff, or are we going to have advantage? I want to see that matchup.
I'm going to pivot here. How about the home crowd at SoFi Stadium?
Oh, yeah.
Love it.
All right, we're in the portion of the season, Saints in town, where they can really make their presence felt and make it a rough day for a first-time starter in Chuck.
Oh, I agree. The Dodgers won the World Series, right? So that's done.
Yeah,
and let's be here. Be loud in here. Be
Well,
present.
let's be happy that we had an extra hour or two because of daylight saving. because I think people were out all night last night.
Good.
What
Yes.
a game, by the way. I'm not even a big baseball guy. I
That was
turned that
fun.
on. I was into it.
Yep.
And then you slept through the fireworks, right?
Slept through everything, JB.
Unbelievable.
That's a wrap on the Rams pregame show delivered by Little Caesars. Rams House, don't forget to order Little Caesars for the best deals on NFL game day. Click on the QR code at the bottom of the screen. Enter code RAMS15 at checkout for 15% off your game day order of $15 or more. That's RAMS15. Terms and conditions may apply. Pizza, pizza. Kickoff just after the 1 o'clock hour on Fox. You can catch the three of us on the radio call, ESPN LA 710. For D-Farr, for MJD, I'm J.B. Long. Here we go. Time for a home stand. Back from the bye, looking to get in the NFC win column against the Saints. Enjoy, everyone.